comfort women were forced to serve the very soldiers who had destroyed their lives. Many were taken from their homes through lies, kidnappings, and false promises, only to be trapped inside a system built on fear, violence, and silence. But this nightmare didn't suddenly begin during World War II. It started years earlier as Japan expanded its empire across Asia. In 1931, Japan invaded Manchuria, a region in northeastern China rich in coal, iron, and farmland. Japan wanted these resources to fuel its industries and strengthen its military. After taking control, they created a puppet state called Manchukuo, ruled by officials loyal to Tokyo. As Japanese troops spread across the region, local civilians faced brutal conditions. Villages were raided, land was seized, and women were frequently assaulted by soldiers. Reports of these attacks spread quickly, damaging Japan's image and increasing resistance among local people. Instead of stopping the abuse, the military chose to control it. Japanese officials began creating organized brothels known as comfort stations, claiming they would maintain discipline and reduce disease among soldiers. In reality, the system became a hidden network of exploitation controlled by the military itself. The first official comfort station was established in Shanghai in 1932, shortly after violent clashes between Japanese and Chinese forces. At first, many of the women came from Japan, but as the empire expanded and more soldiers flooded into occupied territories, the military began targeting women from Korea, China, Taiwan, and eventually Southeast Asia. By the late 1930s, the system had spread alongside the war itself. Then came the Nanjing Massacre in 1937. After Japanese troops captured the Chinese capital, the city descended into weeks of terror. Entire families were executed, homes were burned, and tens of thousands of women were assaulted. Historians estimate that at least 200,000 people were killed during the massacre. Even foreign witnesses inside the city were horrified by what they saw. Instead of ending the violence, Japanese military leaders expanded the comfort station system even further, believing it would help control soldiers and hide future atrocities from the outside world. Women were taken in many different ways. Some were kidnapped outright. Others were deceived with promises of factory jobs, nursing work, or better opportunities. Poor families, desperate to survive, often had no idea what awaited their daughters. Korea became one of the biggest targets. Since Korea was already under Japanese colonial rule, the military had complete control over local police, schools, and officials. Young girls disappeared from villages, schools, and streets, many never returning home again. Once trapped inside the stations, there was almost no escape. Women were locked inside tiny rooms near military bases, forced to endure constant abuse from long lines of soldiers every single day. Refusing orders often led to brutal beatings, torture, or death. Many suffered from starvation, disease, forced abortions, and permanent physical injuries. Historians estimate that between 200,000 and 400,000 women were forced into the system across Asia and the Pacific. And when the war finally ended in 1945, many survivors were abandoned far from home, left traumatized and rejected by society. For decades, most stayed silent out of fear and shame. That silence finally began to break in 1991, when Korean survivor Kim Hak-sun publicly shared her story for the first time. Her testimony encouraged other survivors across Asia to come forward, exposing one of the largest organized systems of wartime sexual slavery in modern history. Even today, many survivors and their families continue to demand full recognition, justice, and accountability, so the world never forgets what happened.